Well, the thrust of this report is, as has been forecast or predicted in a lot of the reports that we've seen in recent days, and that is a well-known story. Australia's population is ageing, and as a result of that, over the next 40 years, we're going to have many more people who are over 65. That number of people is expected to double in the next 40 years. We're going to have some 40,000 people who are going to live to 100 by that time, or be over 100 years old by that time. So it's quite a significant changing sort of demographic picture, and we're going to see growth slowing just slightly over that period as well. So the 3.1% growth rate we've been used to over the last 40 years is going to ease slightly to 2.8%. So all of these things are going to add to a tough economic and fiscal picture. We're going to see debt ballooning and deficits pretty much as far as the eye can see, unless tough policies are adopted.
So how do you expect the government to use this report?
Well, the government's hoping to use this report to reboot its somewhat muddled economic narrative that it's been trying to put forward until now. We, of course, started off this government with the claim that we were facing a budget emergency and a crisis, and the government since then has sought to pursue some policies which were consistent with that, and other policies that seem to be against it, such as the paid parental leave scheme. That's now been dropped. The government's really trying to reboot its economic picture now as it gets close to its second budget, and a very crucial budget that will be politically. So this intergenerational report is really an attempt now. It's going to be used to try and frame the longer term economic sort of needs of the country and put the budget into that context, and therefore justify what in the first budget was just simply not justified in the minds of voters.
So would you characterise it as a purely economic document or a political document, or how?
This is both. This is a report by the Treasury, but the opposition's already complaining that it is a politically tainted document, and there is at least some evidence that it has political aspects to it, in the sense that it models what the scenario would be under the previous government. Now, there's very little point in having that modelling done. We've had one budget of this government. Some measures from that budget have already been put in place. So the more interesting and the more relevant models to look at are the current settings that the government's got, and what settings might need to be put in place to rein in debt in the future.